passive income with XRP. That's right, folks. We're going to talk about it in this video, getting the XRP ledger working for you. Now, it doesn't come without being exposed to some risk. Impairment loss is a real thing when you are a liquidity provider for AMMs. We'll talk about that more later in this video. I got a lot to break down, so we're going to run through it here rather quickly. If you appreciate our updates, you guys already know what to do, and everything can be found at my website, zachrector.com. Let's rock and roll. So I think that we're all still trying to understand what we just witnessed with the Super Bowl, truly historic little deal with Mr. President Joe Biden stepping in here and dropping this one on Twitter, or whoever is handling his Twitter account. And remember, guys, I'm not trying to get political. I'm just trying to understand what is taking place in this reality. Folks, this is concerning. Joe Biden puts out a tweet right after the Chiefs win, and it says, just like we drew it up. Now, right before that, my good friend Whiskey Johnny here, John Ferguson, on Twitter, one of our Discord community members, he drops these two tweets as well. I guess this is from the Biden-Harris headquarters, I guess saying that they joined TikTok. And then I guess when you look at the alt text, this pops up, Dark Brandon. I had to go confirm this for myself. I'm like, what is happening right now? And it is true. I mean, that is the image description. And we're wondering what this is all about, because is he going for the crypto community with the laser eyes? Or is this some sort of cryptic deal that is in relation to something else that they got cooking? I've already seen some people, a lot of comments chiming in, talking about how Black Swan's confirmed. I think I retweeted out a second time on this, post as well, and said Bitcoin dump confirmed. This is unbelievable. The other thing that's taken place is the NATO alliance, and in particular, Israel launched an attack during the Super Bowl as well. So this is coming out. Hamas official statement has just been issued on the Super Bowl massacre in Rafah. And this is a full statement from them. I'm not going to read it out here, but I'm just like, this is unbelievable. We got Biden going with the laser eyes. We got bombs dropping over here, big time attack taking place. And this world stage, I mean, you can't script it any better. And I'll comment on the Super Bowl real quickly. I was just laughing the whole time, just thinking of how, Roger Goodell and all of the NFL, investors and everybody who has a stake, right, had to have just been hoping that, what's his name, Travis Kelce, right, is going to catch that final touchdown for the victory. He caught the touchdown that got him close, and then they tried to go at him for the touchdown, missed, and then they settled for a field goal, sent it into OT, and then the Chiefs ended up winning. He didn't get the winning touchdown, but I was thinking when they threw that last pass to him, trying to secure the game with that, I'm thinking Goodell must have called Andy Reid, hey, Andy, we got to. This is for, if we get this, we're going viral, And obviously I'm talking about Travis and Taylor Swift and the Swifties and the media, and the show goes on, and Usher. What an experience we're living through, huh? It's truly incredible. I only had Paramount Plus. I had to get that for the last season of Billions. One of the few shows I actually enjoy, on the current television broadcasting. But with that being said, all jokes aside, it's unbelievable, right? What we're seeing right now. And I commented on Biden's shrinkflation video as well, talking about how this is a complete setup. This is not a left-right issue. This is not politics. This is literally a controlled demolition and rug pull of Main Street in the U.S. economy. And we can take a moment to enjoy a football game on Sunday, but this is why we're getting back to work here on Monday. We're getting back to setting our intentions, controlling our energy, and bringing order to this chaos, because we know it's only going to continue throughout the rest of this year. Now, to get to the Super Bowl, to enjoy ourselves, what have we been having to do? Run up $1.13 trillion on the credit cards, an all-time high for Americans. I'm sure this will end well, right? Also consider that the interest rate on this credit is soaring as well. You're talking 20-30% on some credit cards. One heck of a setup we got coming for us. Now, we are going to get CPI inflation data on Tuesday, retail sales Thursday. Fed manufacturing on Thursday from Philly. PPI coming in on Friday. 8 Fed speakers giving us a little bit of context. And about 20% of the S&P 500 companies reporting earnings. So we're going to get right on into it. Now, as I titled this video, I wanted to talk about passive income with XRP. We have this AMM amendment that has been delayed, but it is on the way. What's interesting right now is I just find Ripple in an incredibly unique position, set up to be a lender of last resort, and with enough XRP to make the XRP ledger the best source of liquidity in the world for some trading pairs, for some currencies. And I'm not just saying that. When you consider the fact that Ripple is sitting on, 40, 50 billion of XRP that they can deploy into these automated market maker liquidity pools, the flows of liquidity ramp up and are sustained on the XRP ledger in a way that we haven't seen in the rest of the space yet. Now, obviously, Bitcoin remains to be the most liquid. We see a lot of DeFi protocols. We see tens of millions of dollars worth of XRP that's actually locked up and used as collateral or providing liquidity on other chains, other protocols, because we don't have AMMs. Now, we are set to get this in the next coming months. It has been delayed, but I think that we can still expect this to come through in the next couple weeks. And this is very, very important to understand how bullish this is for the XRP community getting broader adoption, because everybody's just looked at the XRP ledger and they of course are running with it's a banker's coin, it's centralized. And then even if they do look in a little bit further, and if you have invested in it, we're seeing so many that were big members of the community are now falling off. Many people that tried to hold on to their bag of XRP, but just had to sell off because times are getting tough. This is an unfortunate situation, but please understand what's at the end, the light at the end of the tunnel here. We're entering a beautiful ecosystem full of DeFi capabilities. We have smart contract platforms built all around us. And with the EVM sidechain, that's going to tie us into all, EVM smart contracts. Boom. And you're talking about millions of developers that already know how to work on that Solidity platform with EVM smart contracts. This is not a matter of which smart contract platform do we need to be on. The smart contract platform isn't as important as what currency do you want to get paid in? What currency do you want to have your value stored in? This brings us back to the reserve currency conversation. And some of us crazy folks around the planet do treat our XRP as a reserve currency, just as Ripple stated was their simple goal in 2017. And we will never forget that statement from Ripple. And they've never brought it back and said, hey, we're pivoting from that. They never have once done that. And I was listening to someone comment about how Ripple doesn't have any technical developer minds really at the board level. It's all politics. It's all Rosie Rios, 43rd Treasurer of the United States. And that right there shows you alone that the building, the developer side, that's very important. Absolutely. But we get that figured out. What's really at stake here with this XRP Ripple story? A currency. Now, it's been called a virtual currency in the 2015 settlement. It's been called a digital token that in and of itself is not a security by Judge Torres. And so we know, we have the clarity that XRP is a currency. I would also argue that it's a commodity because it has additional value and characteristics representing, the exact definition of a commodity. And one of those utilities that we're talking about here is being able to provide your XRP or your issued assets on the XRP ledger. Any token on the XRP ledger, right? Anybody can make a liquidity pool and you'll be able to put your assets to work. So it's really not just your XRP, it's all issued assets on the XRP ledger as well. So if you have US dollars, if you have USDC, if you have USDT, Tether, I mean, you think of all the other tokens that have been put on the XRP ledger, Casino Coin, others, right? And I actually just started testing out the Stellar AMM so I could familiarize myself with these AMMs and how they work. And so I put in a little bit of liquidity for XLM and Stronghold. That's the most recent one that I did. Well, the only one that I've done. And I just put a little bit in to start playing with it and getting comfortable in anticipation for what is coming to the XRP ledger. Now, when I look at this AMM, it's much different. The DeFi and specifically the AMM, what it's going to bring to the XRP ledger is, I think, going to make the rest of the DeFi that we've seen so far pale in comparison, just absolutely dwarf that. And what I'm talking about is Ripple's ability to interject billions of XRP into these liquidity pools. Now, are they going to do that all at once? Right as the AMMs go live, throw billions at this? I don't think so, but they're going to build that up over time, and we know they have the XRP to work with, and it would allow Ripple, who has the most incentive to, one, see XRP price go up, and two, receive a yield from your XRP, and they're going to be able to do so without having to sell your XRP. Now, what we're talking about here is letting the ledger do the work. We already have a decentralized exchange built into the XRP ledger. We are now going to be providing liquidity to the AMMs that are going to be built on top of that decentralized exchange. It's just making the DEX even more efficient. Now, what we're talking about here is something that has been in the works for a very long time, and I think that we're in the final phases. I wanted to share off this tweet right here from Anders because I thought this perfectly summarizes where we're at. This is a few quotes from Ripple employees, former and current. Now, former Ripple employee Bob Way says this back in March of 2019. Quote, liquidity is a generalized problem that all teams will need to solve. When Ripple thinks the time is right, everybody needs to listen to that part very carefully. When Ripple thinks the time is right, they'll start to talk about their plans for solving that problem, i.e. flipping the switch, getting these flows of liquidity actually moving on the XRP ledger. And we know that at the end of last year, they already pivoted on-demand liquidity flows. Some of them are starting to move to the DEX. They've never been on the DEX. They've been on centralized exchanges. So the time is now. Now, Emi Yoshikawa from Ripple. If AMM is added here by amendment in the future, it is expected that it will become the most powerful DEX of central, I'm forgetting the term of this, CLOB AMM, and dramatically improve liquidity. It's the order book. I forget what the C and the L stand for, but it's the order book. And she literally is saying that when we get this AMM, we're going to have the most powerful DEX in the world. Then we have David Schwartz, January of 2021, quote, my personal vision for XRP since 2013 or so was this idea of deep, open, public pools of liquidity that anyone, anywhere could contribute to and draw off of. This is the dream being realized. We get that AMM, we flip the switch. I have been making the point here that I think that you're going to see the deepest and the most liquid pools of liquidity for some of the trading pairs like XRP USD, XRP Bitcoin, XRP Ethereum, and you name it, right? Some of the best flows of liquidity are going to be happening right on the XRP ledger. Ripple has an incentive, and then we will finally have an incentive, right, to hold our XRP and then make some of it available. And as always, you are introduced to some risk. The volatility can make that liquidity pool out of balance. That's impairment loss. And you have to hold on, right, until it balances itself back out. And you're letting the ledger do it itself, right? The ledger's doing the work here. And the decentralized exchange, AMM, is going to balance it back out over time. But you can get caught out of balance and you can get caught with a loss. But it's just like any unrealized loss. If you don't sell, you're not actually taking the loss, right? You're not actually recognizing the loss. So it's the same thing here. But we got deep pools of liquidity that are ready to come and start settling on the decentralized exchange. This will move XRP price because it's not going to be over-the-counter transactions and basically closed off liquidity loops that they created with centralized exchanges. That's what Ripple has done up to this point with on-demand liquidity. Obviously, on-demand liquidity and RippleNet have been merged into Ripple payments, but on-demand liquidity, we knew that they were starting to, at the end of last year, move some of those flows onto the decentralized exchange instead of only on centralized exchange relationships. And that's a closed liquidity loop that's over the counter that doesn't impact our price out here in the open market. We're about to see that change. And I'm so excited for the AMM on top of all of the other amendments that we're already considering, right? We just had clawbacks go live, bullish. We just had the consideration for AMM. It's delayed, but it is coming. Very, very bullish. And we have many more coming. EVM sidechain, decentralized identity. We have a lot of good stuff coming to this ledger. But the main point is that we are ready to handle a lot of money flowing through, just getting the payments done, cheap, efficient, and no downtime. That's what we want to make sure is maintained while we add in these additional utilities. And I think that the validators are doing a great job. Although there is some disagreements, we end up working it out. Decentralization at display, love to see it. And I'm incredibly bullish, more bullish than I've ever been on XRP, full disclosure. Not financial advice. I'm just here to tell you how I feel about this thing. And I'm the most bullish I've ever felt about this asset since I first got in 2018. If you appreciate the updates, you guys know what to do. Everything can be found at my website, zachrector.com. And I really hope that you guys can share this one out far and wide and let everyone know you're about to have an incentive to hold on to your XRP and put it to work. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.